Hi, this is Paul Money. Welcome to HolmesCountyTicket.com's Ticket TV, driven by Village Motors. I'm here with Lady Hawks head coach Dave Schlabach. Dave, welcome to the show. Congratulations on another trip to state.
Thank you.
A few questions for you here. We'll go ahead and get started. How do you think this year's edition of the Lady Hawks compares to other teams that you've taken to the state tournament?
I think a lot of our teams that have gotten to Columbus have gotten there mainly because of depth. I mean, we play a lot of kids, and it's kind of been our program's identity in Columbus. We're usually not the biggest or the most athletic or maybe most talented, but we tend to our depth usually has something to do with us getting there. And I think this team is very similar. We play a lot of kids, a lot of skilled kids.
Mm-hmm. So how would you say that this team is different then from past teams that you've taken down to state?
You're probably more than anything just our size. We're a small group. We're tough and physical. We've had to be, but a lot of times to get to Columbus, you got to have a lot of size, and we've been able to figure it out this year without that.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned your size a little bit. I remember a game at the Classic when you played Lake. They had a pretty dominant big girl that scored against you guys pretty well. So as you beat some of those teams, you won that game against Lake. So how have you overcome that height and won a lot of games this season?
We've had an incredible non-league schedule, and not by design, but it seems like all 8 of our non-league games had teams with just big players, and I think it's allowed us to play against those kind of kids and get ready throughout the year. Ultimately, we think it's a toughness issue, and we like our kids to play real physical, and then also just our guard pressure has allowed us to keep enough pressure on the basketball that they just can't easily put the ball inside to big kids. But we think rebounding is more about heart and determination, so we don't allow our size to be an excuse. But no, we've done a good job. We'll get tested again in Columbus.
So you've talked about your toughness a little bit. Is there one point in the season this year where you've been inspired by your team?
I've really enjoyed the group from day one. Obviously, our Rosecrans game, where we're down 7 with about 5 minutes to go in the game, and then finish the game on a 17-0 run. Just showed me, once again, our kids, they've invested so much time, energy, and the refusal to quit. I mean, I was just real proud of our kids that night. And a very similar story against Lake Ridge in the regional semifinals.
Sure.
Down big at halftime and came back. So it's a group that's very resilient.
Sure. So you're making your 13th trip to state now, 2013. Talk a little bit about what that means for you as a head coach going to state that many times. Pickerington North has done it 11 times. They're the closest to the 13 trips that you've made. What does that mean for you as a head coach to have gone that many times to state?
We take every year as its own. We get so many kids over the years that have worked hard in the program, and as a staff, we take it very personal to try and get our senior class to Columbus, every year. And hopefully it means we're doing the right things, and the fact that we've been able to sustain over a lot of years. The program itself, the coaching staff. I mean, just have such a tremendous staff from the young kids to the older kids. Every senior that graduates, I've had for 12 years because we have our first camp in kindergarten. So
sure.
It's fun to watch our groups grow up and just the commitment level. And they work so hard that we think a big reward for them is a chance to play in Columbus. And once again, it's nice for our seniors.
Mm-hmm. So does state get any easier?
No, and this year was a prime example. I mean, we pretty much had our backs against the wall at least twice, on the tournament trail where it just takes one off night, where you're not shooting the basketball well or you get into foul trouble, and hopefully that's where depth in the long run, pays off for your program.
Sure.
Allows you to maybe have a night where things aren't going so well, and you get another kid to step up, or a kid off the bench comes in and has a big game, and we've been able to do that again this year.
Sure. So what is your, personally, what's your favorite experience at state so far?
Just there's been a lot. The one that just comes to my mind right away is just the first state championship, 2000. Aaron Hostetler, Jill Yoder, Lish, Kim Mast, Melissa Miller. That group, they enabled us to break through the wall the first time, and then coming back. I think at least showed our kids after that it was possible. Sure. And so I can still remember all those kids coming off the floor, in the last minute of the game, and just that feeling of finally getting it done.
Sure. Well, that's a lot of state experience. 13 trips. This will be the 13th trip for the Lady Hawks. Make sure you get your ticket for this weekend, and make sure you go down and root on the Lady Hawks. This is Paul Money again with Dave Schlabach, the Lady Hawks coach. Make sure you check out homescountyticket.com. This has been Ticket TV, driven by Village Motors.